Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have Kindred Jungle because I cannot believe Riot gave them a 10% attack speed increase on their Q. Most people were playing Kindred after Season 13 dropped, and they were picking, hey, the red smite. Why? Why were you doing this? Do you need the slow? No. Do you need more burn damage? Yeah, no. What do we need? Movement speed or survivability and tenacity? Thus, the Moss Stomper, the green pet, or the blue pet, the Gust Walker, for those who haven't recognized the names yet or learned the names, were the best choice. And if you looked at the win rate, the red pet versus those two pets in terms of win rate is like 5% less. So Riot said, hey, they're looking weak, let's buff them. They didn't need a buff. So now we are dealing with a very, very strong Kindred, and in this one we're going to have a gold deficit for a while until we scale back in and take over the game and carry our teammates. Why? Because it's important to understand that whenever we do Kindred gameplay and always win by 20-25, that's not always the reality of the situation. And now because of the nature of the jungle pets and obviously going green, as you see here with that PTA rune set, you know, you're still a hyper carry. Now, the hiding is obviously an issue, and don't forget, yeah, we're all getting used to this. High elo players, everyone, we're getting used to this kind of dip. You know, from the kite range, you try and pull it out at 300 HP, which is kind of where you want that threshold. You should be able to get away with it. You'll learn, we'll get back to the muscle memory, but sometimes it just takes over and you're like dragging the camp like it's season 12 and you can do nothing about it. So remember to track your early junglers against you and also to make sure you're refining your clears as much as possible. Now, in terms of builds and itemization, we're going with a classic variant this game. I will be updating all my live Companion Zada GG guides, by the way, with all the freshest builds and the freshest runes and giving you a jungle pet tier list for every single jungler. And I have 30 plus guides. So they're not quite live yet because I want to make sure I give you the good juice, but I'll be starting to update that over the weekend. So Kindred included, make sure you download those, test them out, try them out, and all the new builds will come to you very soon. Now in this particular case, because of the shift in the jungle meta into Season 13, most junglers can clear quite well. At the same time, Kindred can now full clear. Should you? No, I do think you should, focus on those 3 camp, 4 camps, actionable game plans, but at the same time, look at your lanes. Is this a gankable lane with a Wukong? Not really, and we start at topside. Akali, is she gankable? No one would really agree on that. Is this gankable? Yes, it is. Luciano, Nami, they're going to push up, and we have a Nautilus. So we can definitely look to gank that, but we want them to be level 3, ideally, for that all-in. So let's take the fact that the RNG crab with our first mark is not spawning until 3:30 now. We can afford to do ourselves a full clear, and obviously you're against a Lee Sin who's going to try and do the same thing, but he will be faster. So we know he should be in the area. Kindred hits the plant, we see him, and we have a full-on battle for crab classical stylings. Kindred goes into the river, the Nautilus roams on over. We do get the stun. Kindred now has to be careful because Lucian's moving in with his shift. Varus is way too late to the fight. Now everyone's chunked and has to run away, flash away. Varus goes for the slow. Now he's in a bit of a precarious situation. Lee Sin should hit the Q, but he won't need to. So, as you can see, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And even though, you can take the crab and make it go from 3 to 315 to 330, yeah, but you can't stop junglers fighting and dying over it. And laners also need to learn to, recognize when to give things up just as much as junglers. So we know Lee Sin started on the top side, went down. So what Kindred says is instead of, doing sort of cheese aggression, let's just do full clear and assess where we are. Obviously bottom lane will always have prior in that particular situation, so I don't think we should have gone for the crab at all. But we float back all the way to the top side, take the top scuttle, move on over, and will we kill the monkey? Yes. Monkey secured, monkey dead, feces flung, and we deep ward this because we know the tier 2 grump will be spawning. Remember, 20% more damage on your counter jungling compared to previous seasons. So, 20% more damage that you do to your camps, which means you effectively do 20% less damage to enemy camps. So if you're gonna go for the counter jungling here, you gotta know the Lee Sin isn't resetting. Now the Lee Sin knows, Kindred could look to do the very classical full clear crab, gank, double crab, side lane, gank all the lanes, and then loop back again. So obviously this case didn't work out. We didn't get a bot lane gank. We didn't get the bot lane crab. I don't know why Cassante is dying to this necessarily. This seems remarkably odd, but hopefully you all can sympathize with the Kindred because that's what happens to you, the general population, isn't it? Yes, Virkayu, you make all this content, and the laners are amazing. What happens if they do stupid shit like die to a gank after they were shown on the ward? Well, there you go. So, excuse the South African there aside, we're going to do our tier 2 Krogs, tier 2 Raptors. We're going to float on out to the mid lane here. Akali is dashing, the Kali is flashing, the Lee Sin is showing, and now we officially have in the bank 1680, 1 kill, 1 crab, and unfortunately, 0 marks. So, Much like the Weimar Republic, we're going to reset, spend what we can, or make a kite, and then move on down to the bottom side here. Now, let's have a look. What can we do to get this game going? And, you know, I mentioned, just to slow down a little bit, if you're going to sequence down and you know the Lee Sin starts and goes down, and you know it's a Lucian army, you're never going to have that prio, right? So why even go for this? You could look essentially to 3 camp, cut down, do blue, grump wolves, come back across, and do exactly the same thing, minus your death. Just accept that it's gone. And obviously, in this case, we didn't die, but our teammates did, you know, and they played around us. I appreciate it, but in this case, they should not have rotated. It was not a fight worth taking, and I would not have rotated in that situation, knowing the matchup and based on what was going on in the lane. So we reset here. Noon Quiver achieved. Again, there are some variations in builds. I will flesh them out and talk about them, and put them in the ZGG guides with notes on when and how to play them. Yes, there's some Tiamat tech going on with Blade of the Rune Kings and Wit's Ends and Black Cleavers, but we've covered that kinda a little bit recently. But the stereotypical Kindred builds, they're all good to go. Right, 23 stacks, treats. Lee Sin shows bottom lane, 25 with 3 assists. Could we look to cheese here? Could we look to do something? No, we could not. So we're just going to float back across. And this is the problem with these kinds of games when you're playing Kindred, isn't it? Come on, dish it to me. I coach a lot of Kindred. What do I do if there are no obvious ganks? What do I do if there's no prior? Well, you look on the map, you probe, you clear. You use the new modern season to get more camps than you could have in the past, even though the camps are more difficult to take. We're healthier. Come on, sir. Do it, sir. Ooh, do we have a dive? Do we want to be super cheeky? But it's a Kali, that's the problem with this. Lee Sin. Nice cue there to avoid the Lee Sin. But again, the Lee Sin flash shield. I've been doing that at Cassante, actually. I'll flash and shield people with my E. And I've saved quite a few people. You'll see in the last video on Tuesday, the Love and Hate. Yeah, saves quite a few people. Now they're chasing the Kindred here. We are 6 though. We're going to space over from the Lee Sin here. We get the hook from the Swain. Yes, an overcommitment equals a death, which means we'll get a mark finally. And can we kill the Akali? No, we cannot. Fortunately for us as well. We have 2 marks actually. Now we have a Grump with a mark. So if you're a typical jungler in this particular situation, a lot of people go for the blue. You could, but the Grump gives you more golden experience and will be easier to snack. So it's better in this particular sense to really take that. There we go, plus 75, plus a mark. So 1 more for the infamous 4 stack. Now I'm a ranged champion mode. We could look to dive this here as well. I think this is maybe a missed opportunity, but the problem is we know the Lee Sin will maybe look to collapse, thinking we're going to stick around. Let's have a look if he goes bottom top. He does actually go top lane, so I wouldn't have known this, you wouldn't have known this, and that's why we make that decision. Right, if we do Grump with a mark into blue and Lee Sin thinks, hey, they probably think I'm going down, but it takes a long time, let me rotate, and you get fisted. So it's better to play it safe. There are Cassante doing some gamings. Not knowing what happened is almost more impressive, actually, because I play basically only Cassante at the moment, but in the jungle. Take it. Yeah, the Kindred with the ultimate, so you cannot. We do have the upgrade, whereas Lee Sin does not. So we could look to get a little bit aggressive here. So now we want to start to use our range component. We've played a measured game. Smart jungling, yes. Counter jungling, yes. We've tried to make plays. And unfortunately, the contest on the bottom scuttle is not our fault, but the result is, in a way, if that makes sense. So let's counter jungle, snack that. There we go, a little bit of burn. And now we can shout into the mid lane. Yes, Swain is doing work. It's nice when one lane is doing good stuff. Excuse me here as well. Can I drag this, please? There we go. And now we're going to go straight into this zone here for the Raptor camp because we feel comfortable. That's 4 marks, by the way. That's the kind of stuff I want to see from Kindreds. If you don't get a red Raptors Grump Flexi clear, if you don't get a 3-4 camp into some sort of action to kind of, you know, get fed and snowball the game as we normally look at, this is the kind of jungling you want to do. A kind of jungling you want to do, which includes some strategic counter jungling. Now we've just done blue, Grump, and Raptors from the Lee Sin, and counter jungling is at an all-time high because of how much harder it is to gain golden experience with the nerf, as well as the more difficult nature of securing those camps in general across the map. Our golden experience is down, so the counter jungling is having a potent effect on enemy junglers as it stands. And again, if you're Kindred, this is your default jungle pet, please. Excuse me, can I just do my blue? What's going on here? Let me save the Varus. Why? I'm just trying to find my blue, and you guys are chasing my ADC. Why is he even going so deep? Doesn't really matter. I'll snack that. Carly has a mark activated. If you want to fight, we can fight. I like this. I resonate with this. Don't you? You see this. You understand exactly what's going on in the Kindred's mind. I just want to I just want to chill. I just want to farm my camps. I just want to have some fun and go back to base, and you're all chasing into my jungle, forcing fights. Fine, you can die. Here we go. Just be cautious of the Akali. Nice flash there, and thank you, Varus, for doing the cleanup. Right, what do we have in the pocket? 2,400. And with that dragon, we are probably going to want to snag that Herald next, I think. Most logically, that should be the objective. Remember, Herald is still good. I don't know who's saying Herald is useless. I don't know why they're saying this. You know, yeah, the plates have more resistances, but in turn they give you more gold. So yeah, you're not waxing a turret within half a second, but you're still getting plates. You're still doing damage, and you're still elevating the game state. And you're still getting more increased local gold and experience that they've given to the Herald this year. So take the Herald. There's no excuse not to ping pong objectives. Dragon Herald, Dragon Soul. Enjoy yourself, you know? I mean, if you have to give up a dragon, take a Herald, do it. Don't force a dragon for no particular reason, so keep that in mind. Now, the Lee Sin is 0-3, little bit of chasey, and the Kindred using great positioning, and honestly, really nice measured jungling. Really nice measured jungling to actually control this game and get themselves 2-0-2. The next goal for us is obviously increasing this, right? We want to make sure we get that 40 treat completion way before the Lee Sin, who's at 17-8 right now. The counter jungling here, that's the thing. The counter jungling doesn't only affect your golden experience, it affects directly how quickly and soon you get your final jungle pet upgrade to give you that passive. And in the case of the Moss Stomp, if you get the Moss Stomp first, and some dudes on Red Smite, for example, the Scorch Claw, not Red Smite, Red Pet, the Scorch Claw, what are they going to do? My shield that regenerates, and I have tenacity, so if you have CC, don't care. It's huge to finish it sooner for the mid-game fights, for that third dragon, that second dragon, whatever's coming up. You have that lead of the enemy jungler. We see the Cassante fighting. Obviously, you need to make sure your F keys are clicking. Don't sit and talk to the screen. Use your F keys. Click around. If you can rotate to this, do so. Let's see. We have here the Lee Sin on the bottom lane plus a Mark. We're at 5, which is pretty good. But the Swain needs to reset, and the Monkey has pushed up top lane. So there's no real place to use the Herald just yet. If we see the Swain TPing to the bottom lane, which is a great reaction, you see that? Now we can push it, now we can use. Swain here fighting, TPing, going, birding, swaining, demoning, Noxus spreading. We activate the Herald here. Look at this. You know, yeah, it's not a 3-play thing now, it's less than that, but this will elevate the game state, give us 800 cash money gold. Are you telling me that that's bad? Are you telling me that you don't enjoy what just happened? And now the Akali is trying to fight you, and she can't because she's Akali, and even though she's obnoxious, we are kindred. Oh wait, we do have to be careful though. If we get hit with an E and an R goes through and we don't have ultimate up and we're low in mana and we don't have all our spells, she will still kill you, right? So just pay attention to those things. Here would have been the logical play if you're kindred main, but if you're a jungler, you're going, no, who cares about this wolf camp? Triple kill bottom lane. So remember, don't let the mark system compromise your jungling. This is a really fed Lucian. What does he have in cash monies? He has 6,300, we have 6,600. We're pretty equal here. And we're going on the Nami to make sure she can die first. Ooh, she's forced to walk into the ultimate. Try and save your final E-proc if you can. There we go, beautifully done, because you don't want to use your E-proc in your own ultimate. I mean, what kind of fool are you? I'm kidding. Yeah, it happens. It's a skill thing. Just try and practice it, make sure you're timing that perfectly, and getting the muscle memory of how long Kindred's ult is activated. Now, back to base again. Classically, as all of you know, we like Kraken Slayer into PD, into your sort of, yeah, you could go something else other than IE third in that particular situation. You could adapt, but classically the IE 3 item combo is like default Kindred too expensive, Hybrid Snowball Assassin. You know, you don't go for utility, you just go for pure raw damage. It's like glass cannon, effectively. We'll see what exactly they go in this game. We have gone Resistance Boots instead of Berserkers, which is logical considering the nature of their team comp. Right. Lee Sin was fisted. Lee Sin is seen bot lane. Obviously, I'm looking at you and looking at the map. You see these wards, you know he's coming. He's going to get kills. I mean, free wolf camp, free counter jungling, free marks. That's exactly what we want. And a dragon is spawning. So I would like to contest that dragon, but I think with my bot lane basically just inting, there's not much we can do, is there? There's really just not much we can do. So we'll stay on the top side. That's fine. Absolutely fine to be able to do this. Wouldn't stress it whatsoever. You know, it looked like he was doing good things. Here we go. But he's 0-4-1, so yeah. We have an inting top and an inting bot, a mid lane who's being a Chad gamer, and us. So we're trying to 2v8, which is more realistically what you're going to be looking at. Rarely will you have a true 1v9 unless you're smurfing, and so you just want to find the player in your team that's best suited to try and win the game. He's overcommitting top lane. We know we are losing this dragon, so there's no point even contesting it, which is why the dragons you can get are crucial. Don't chuck your E on the Wukong, but, I mean, he's dead here. Just keep hitting him. Yeah. Die. Thank you so much. And of course, the Moss Stomper shield is great for Kindred in these moments, because you'll go in, someone with a lot of damage, who's potent, who's a fighter, will just go back in on you and gap close that, and you'll have that Moss Stomper to absorb the damage. You won't be CC'd for as long, and then you can reposition using your ranged component and outplay them, which is why it's so much better. And the Gus Walker is very similar in a way, it just allows you to move around the map like a Graves in Italy does. And, you know, that's obviously what you want for mobility purposes and flow and rotations, but you lose the potency of the team-fighting nature of Moss Stomper. But Scorch Claw, given the buffs that came through, you could buy it, and you can buy it, and it's good. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, right? But the win rate was just so much better with Moss Stomper. It was just so weird. The differential between Scorch Claw and Moss Stomper, and they got buffed for it, so the Moss Stomper builds were absolutely fine. Right, we're on to the PD here, and now we're gonna go into some, ooh, spicy. We have here a Null Magic Mantle, so we can obviously flex it into a Wit's End, and of course we have the Cloak of Agility, which we can of course flex into our Infinity Edge. So let's see, the Null Magic Mantle is really interesting, but the Wit's End is a curious concept in this particular game. If you're going to go attack speed and be super sort of attack speed based, percentage based, then I would just go bulk second, you know what I mean? If you're going to I love crit Kindred, even with an agility cloak it's a lot, but I mean Lucian's damage, insane. They went in, they re-enter, we use our ult here, the Kali's going in onto the Varus, double kill. Cassandra is all outing to all in to go back, re-dashing, and now our team has fallen. Swain is mobility flanking. Can we join? Alright, keep your eyes on the prize here. We have Moss Stomper. No. Good. Looking for the flank, watching the situation, just like an assassin. You don't go in and die. And then, of course, as you float on down into the river here, you want this crab scan. If you see the Akali, make sure you are seen or unseen or whatever it is. And remember, you can't beat her here. You just gotta make sure you don't get hit with an E and R executed if it's up. And she got E executed. Yes. I love it. I love seeing Kraken Slayer PD, BF Sword, i.e. Kindred. The damage is so absolutely disgusting. Look at this. The E, the execute is just, it's truly an execute at this point. Excellent patience, flanking, positioning, making sure we're using that E target as much as possible. And it was beautiful. Good positioning, good use of flashes and Qs. And the Moss Stomper just gives, and gives. Do you need more damage? Slows? No. What we need is survivability when you're going for something glass cannon. End of story. And that's why it provides so much utility for Kindred in particular. Now, we do have the Ninja Tabby, the plated steel caps, excuse me, which is obviously that makes sense, but the Wit's End, yeah, I mean, Wit's End by itself is still good. You know, and if they still have magic damage on their team, then it'll do its job. And the Akali is the one we're fighting and the one we're worried about. We can kind of deal with Illusion with positioning and out-ADing them, and of course we have played at Steel Cap, so the Witzer will do a lot of good things here as well. Let's see what choices we go to next. Alright, the Nami tries to stop our back, which he successfully does, and then Lucian E's in to kill the Varus, and we say, can we just base, please? What are you doing, Lucian? And he dies for his sins. Nami says, well, better go to the mid lane. So if you see this is the right play. If you're 2v8ing or like communicating with a duo and you guys are popping off and just carrying the game. And the Swain is 2-2-4, but he's done a very good job, I think we can agree. Yes, the Kindred's 1v9ing, but it's not really because the Swain is here. So if you see monkeys doing monkey shit in the mid lane, push a tower, take a tier 2, push a wave. Watch for the collapse, keep your vision, obviously. In this case, try and dodge crucial spells, such as the Akali E's and things like this. Here we go. Monkey engage, monkey see, monkey do. Kindred's focusing on the Akali here. We're trying to make sure we can save the Swain with our ultimate without saving their team. So we want to get that execute onto the Akali, but we're not able to do so. We are forced to ult, and Akali repositions, and you see that? We got healed, we queued upwards. We got the heal from the ultimate, and we got straight double Q proc onto the Lucian as well as the Nami, so they die from that as well. Kali's like, nope. Alright, and we can take a red buff, so good Kindred play and hesitation on that ultimate. Very nicely done. You don't want to be too hasty with it. and save them, and you really want to use it at the moment that saves your whole team as well as yourself, which is exactly what they did. And then reposition with your Q after the heal so that they cannot touch you. You've got that range advantage. And slice them up, baby. Hello, Akali. Can I interest you in some def? Yeah, mobile chain. Oh, well, that was fancy, wasn't it? Thank you. Thank you, Varus. Thank you so much, Silver Penny, Miss Money Penny. And then we can take this and go back to base. Finally, what do we have now? 5,500. That's goblin behavior, but I think we can agree the goblin behavior wasn't our fault. Naomi stopped our back. And then Lucian was like, let's go fighting. And we were like, no. And then he came back and respawned and he's like, let's go fighting again. And then Kindred said, no. And we ended up fighting anyway. And he died. So, whatever. Right, we have IE. We have Wit's End. All from one purchase. So I think we were definitely floating into the IE before the Wit's End. But the whole concept here is you've got Kraken, you've got the PD, you've got the IE, and that's a nice trifecta. And following this, typically you will want a bit more attack speed, so you could go into a second Zeal item, your RFC and things like this, you could need, I mean, if you need a Last Whisper, you could do that. If you went for Collector before the PD, just to like, try and snowball for that, you could have. It really is a choose your own adventure with Kindred, and there's no right or wrong with a lot of these builds. It's how it feels to you, and as long as it makes sense against the team comp that you're playing. And in this case, the Wit's End plus the plated steel caps does everything we need versus particular team. Hello, watch the IE. But look at the squishiness, right? Your positioning is key, and the Moss Stomper, again, does its work. Doesn't work, obviously, on knockups. Keep your range, keep your range, keep your range. That's a clone, by the way. There we go, another death. Now push the top lane. We can, of course, go El Baron, but will someone contest? Don't think so. Lee Sin's name is Massive Weasel. It's a good name. Where's the Honey Badger name, by the way? If anyone knows, Daniel Ricciardo from Formula 1 is nicknamed the Honey Badger, and everyone thought it's because it's super cute. I love this. Exactly right. Yes, yes. Ugh. It's exciting. I really love watching a full Kindred because I know exactly what it feels like. I like 300k, and even though I don't get to play as much as I want to anymore, I know what that feels like, and it's so damn good. It's why I still love this cool build. And obviously the GA thrown in here just keeps you alive double, perma, and the added AD from the BF Sword Spike. Beautiful. Anyway, so yeah, they always think it's like this cute thing, but honey badgers are absolute monsters. There's this meme video, it's an old meme video. I don't know if you just YouTube honey badger meme video, it probably shows up. Someone's like talking over a documentary on honey badgers and how they just eat snakes and hunt beehives and and they get poisoned by the snakes, so they take a nap, wear off the poison, then get back up and carry on about the day and keep eating the cobra and things like this. It's really funny. But yeah, where was the original point? Oh, weasels and honey badgers. Yeah, someone needs to be called honey badger. I got distracted by the excitement of talking about honey badgers. So we kill the person in front of us after getting El Baron, the extra BF sword. This is the potent. See, you are squishy though, right? So doesn't matter when you have an invincibility ultimate. The monkey comes for me. Triple kill. Monkey see, monkey do, monkey die, quadra kill. This is how you play Kindred when you can't snowball. This is how you play Kindred in Elos where the Collector RFC build doesn't suit you because your team always wants to team fight or be idiots. This is the build and the process you use to carry on Kindred every single game, because if you do this in those games where you do snowball, you're over by 20. And if you don't and your team suck and you have a goal deficit, fresh, juicy, beautiful. Kindred buffed Riot. Riot buffed Kindred, and I have no idea why, but this is the result, and it's beautiful. Perfection. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and learned something. Please check out the main channel video if you want to understand more about which class of champions you think you should play. And Patreon is your coaching funds and signups. Zada GG guides have your champion guides. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.